Hey, what's up guys? This is FZM Studio. Welcome back. In today's video, I've brought along an almost forgotten member of the Android flagship range. That's right, the slick and stylish LG G6 is in the building. It's here today up against the mighty Huawei Mate 10 Pro in the speed test. I've got the best of what LG can offer from their G series versus the best of what Huawei can produce from their Mate series, so it's another epic matchup. Team Huawei versus Team LG. Which team are you on? So let's get ready for it guys. And if you're new here and enjoy what you see, do hit that subscribe button because there's tons more content coming up. Before I start, let's get an overview of the specs. For the LG G6, it has the Snapdragon 821 chipset with a quad-core CPU and the Adreno 530 GPU, 4GB of RAM and 64GB of inbuilt storage. For the Huawei Mate 10 Pro, it's rocking the all-new Kirin 970 chipset. It has an octa-core CPU, an ARM's Mali G72 GPU, 6GB of RAM, and built-in storage of 128GB. And now with an AI built-in, can it sense its enemy beside it? This is it, let's begin the speed test. Okay, so kicking things off with the first test, the boot up test. So with the LG G6, its power button is at the back, which also acts as its fingerprint sensor. The Huawei Mate 10 Pro also has its fingerprint sensor at the back, but its power button is located at the right hand side of the device. Time to fire them up and see who comes in quicker here. There's your new slick animation from Huawei and the classic LG Life's Good logo. And we are in a super quick boot up from the Huawei Mate 10 Pro, and you can still see the LG G6 booting up. And there we are, we've got the LG G6 and it's good to go. So yeah, super start from Huawei, very impressive. Let's continue on to the second test. Let's launch the apps. Let's go. Right, let's kick things off with the first app, the phone dialer. The Mate 10 Pro was faster. Next up, the settings. Wow, okay, very fast times on both phones, coming in equal. Play Store. A little bit faster for the G6 if you just saw. Going into the Google folder, let's try YouTube. Wow, again, very fast times on the Mate 10 Pro, no buffering required. Really fast. Great stuff. Okay, camera. Again, the Mate 10 Pro, and there we can see the LG G6's fantastic display, as the Mate 10 Pro as well. And Chrome. There you can see the Mate 10 Pro once again. So leading the way in the speed test for the apps. Moving on, let's try Instagram. Let's see what we've got. The home feed coming in quicker for the Mate 10 Pro. Give me a thumbs up for that meme. Pause it, that's awesome. Right, back to the home screen after that meme. Okay, so Android Pay. We've got the G6 just coming in a little bit quicker there, a fraction or so. Next up we've got Shazam. I'd say the Mate 10 Pro. Not a huge difference really. Moving on, let's go into Snapchat. Again, the Mate 10 Pro by a little bit quicker. And 8-ball pool. We've got buffering and any second. There you go. We've got the G6 coming in faster for the first game. Not bad. Let's go into Mario Run. Bit more intensive for loading times. And wow, okay, the loading screen coming in same. And let's take a look. Okay, the Mate 10 Pro, ready to go. Asphalt 8. Let's see what we've got here. So loading into the main screen a little bit faster for the Mate 10 Pro. But to the home screen, yep, there it is, the Mate 10 Pro again. That fantastic 18:9 ratio. Similarly on the LG G6, great stuff. Boomerang, a little bit faster once again for the Huawei. Similar response times when I press the button. Back to the home screen. Awesome stuff. Okay, so Netflix, a little bit of buffering, and the Mate 10 Pro again, superb, leading the way I suspect so far. Okay, so back to the home screen, and let's move on. Let's go to Mixer, your streaming services. Pretty intensive app, does take a bit of time to load. There it is. And a little bit of time on the Mate 10 Pro, but it's coming in now. A little bit of delay on the Wi-Fi possibly, but there we go. The G6 was faster for that one. And for Twitch, again the Mate 10 Pro by half a second or so. Cool. Right, let's go again into speed test. Let's launch a server and find... There we go, we've got the Mate 10 Pro, superb. Okay, let's scroll around. What else have we got? So, moving on to the next app, let's go to Just Eat. Certainly the Mate 10 Pro. Its speeds for apps at the moment seems to be a little bit more superior compared to the LG G6. Into the Google folder, Drive is a little bit faster again, as you saw. So the Kirin 970 chipset doing remarkably well. And let's continue. Let's try play movies. Wow, again, no buffering, very fast times. LG G6 wasn't too far behind. Awesome stuff. And let's finally hit it off with Duo. And again, we saw the Mate 10 Pro. Incredible stuff. An awesome speed test so far. Let's continue on. Okay, so the next test is a RAM management test to see how well the apps have been held on the memory of each device. So let's scroll all the way back up to the top. Starting off with the Play Store, no issues here. As you would expect on some of these apps, I don't really see it refreshing because they are high-end flagship devices with great processors. So let's continue with YouTube, no problem, the home screen is there. And the G6 and the Mate 10 Pro so far having a great start, even with Mario Run, so the game's ready to be played. Okay, so speed test, once again, held on the memory. Moving on. Mixer, perfect. Next, Asphalt 8. Let's take a look here, a little bit more intensive. Okay, so the G6 was a bit faster. Nice, good stuff from the LG. Great displays as we see. And Netflix. Great stuff, once again, similar times. No reloads. The memory is working very well. Boomerang, the initial photo, once again, is held. And Android Pay, superb. Good stuff so far, no problems with either phone. 8-ball pool, great. Held on the memory. Play movies, same so far. And for Snapchat, excellent. So far the LG's impressing me because there's no refreshes, which is great. And with Chrome, a hint of a refresh possibly, or maybe it's just the animation. Shazam, again, no problems. Okay, so let's try Drive. Excellent, both phones have held all the apps so far, which is great. Just Eat, following in the same pursuit, no problems. Duo, excellent stuff. Back to the home screen, let's try the next app, which is the camera. So with the camera, it's going to reload and obviously bring up the camera once again. No problems here, superb stuff. And we'll go all the way back up to Instagram, reload the feed. So a little refresh, but we're just reloading the feed. Excellent stuff. Let's clear the apps down and move on to the next test. Right, for the Huawei Mate 10 Pro and LG G6, the fingerprint sensor is located at the back of the phone. As I mentioned earlier on in the video, it's aligned in the center, which makes it much easier to access, and is circular in shape, so you can't really miss it. And with a little bit of hand adjustment, let me just position it right, and there you can see the Mate 10 Pro being a second quicker to bring up the home screen, whereas the LG G6 has a slightly delayed effect. With a couple more attempts, it's clear that the G6's sensor is not as quick as the Mate 10 Pro's. The G6 is still responsive and smooth at the touch, but in good tradition, Huawei continue to bring in rapid response times on many of their handsets, including the one that you're seeing today, the Huawei Mate 10 Pro. Fantastic stuff. Okay, so after all those tests, it's time to switch them both off and see who can power off first. Let me hit the power off button, and wow, no messing around from LG, it's powered off first. The Huawei Mate 10 Pro does take a considerable more amount of time to switch off. I wouldn't be surprised if there's any update around the corner to fix this, as there perhaps could be some bugs on its new EMUI software or overlay which could be causing this, but we're finally there after a couple more seconds. Cool. So, in summary guys, the Huawei Mate 10 Pro begins off in style and speed with its lightning fast boot up times, which really is something. So, the first point to Huawei. Next up, for launching the apps, once more the Huawei Mate 10 Pro and its Kirin 970 chipset handles multiple apps with ease. It's quicker than the LG G6 on the vast majority of the apps I opened, but the LG G6 did beat the Mate 10 Pro in a few apps. Not bad LG. But the Mate 10 Pro takes this victory, so another point here. In terms of RAM management, I have to say I'm extremely impressed with the LG G6, as it literally held all of its applications on the memory, just like the Mate 10 Pro. And if you noticed, on one or two apps, the G6 can actually pop up the app a fraction quicker, which is impressive. Nice. So a huge point both ways. For the fingerprint sensor, the overall response time and ease of use is better on the Mate 10 Pro. The G6 is quite fast also, but as it acts as a power button, it can be a bit disruptive. What I mean by this is that the phone sometimes doesn't know if you're trying to press the power button or trying to use the sensor. This only really happens if the screen is on standby. So, for the fingerprint sensor, another point for the Mate 10 Pro. Finally, I'm giving the last point to the LG G6 as it powers off within a few seconds compared to the Huawei Mate 10 Pro, which does take a fair more amount of time, but this will get fixed in upcoming software patches, I believe. So overall, let's hear it for your speed test winner, the spectacular Huawei Mate 10 Pro. So to conclude, my question to you is, which smartphone would you have? Who's team LG and who's team Huawei? Remember, the LG G6 is insane value for money, coming in at around $500 or around £400 nowadays. It's become the long forgotten smartphone of 2017, which is a shame really. It's a fabulous handset in all respects. In comparison to price, the Huawei Mate 10 Pro currently sits at around $900 or £700. That's a big difference. What do you guys think? So, drop me a comment below and share your thoughts on this speed test. And be sure to leave your suggestions on what smartphones you want to see go head to head next. I'll be checking them all out as usual and we'll be getting ready to do them, so stay tuned. So keep them coming, there's tons more content coming up. Smash that thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and as always guys, hit the bell icon so you never miss an upload, and I'll catch you guys all on the next one. Peace.